How about a good old boys? Me and Chris on the internet one day. Chris said to Neil, let's make a podcast, boy. Come on now, what do you say? Well, what will this podcast be about? Said Neil with a tear in his eye. Without stories that people tell each other from Louisiana Pie to the city of Mumbai. Oh, you mean urban legends. And the podcast was Urban Legends with Neil and Chris. You take care, y'all. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Urban Legends, the hit podcast about urban legends that you can hear on the internet or via your phone using also the internet. I am small-time Irish crook, Aiden O'Bettin, and with me, as always, is 1960s German striking sensation, soccer player, Tindy Flick. And he's also known in England as Mr.
Neil Herbert.
Oh,
there you go. Did a little accent. How about that?
Very good. Why did you change your name from Tindy Flick to Neil Herbert when you moved here?
Just the relentless mockery and beatings. It's got a bit much for me.
Really? Even though you were top scorer for East Germany before the reunion.
Well, if anything, that made it worse in the UK. Yeah.
In the UK?
Isn't that no love for...
Who did you play for? Union Berlin, was it?
No, it was...
Can't think of any East German places, can you?
Bertha Cologne.
Bertha Cologne. Interesting. And
FK Bertha Cologne.
Oh, of course, disbanded now.
Yes, sadly. They'll live forever in our hearts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can get kind of the retro shirts.
Well, the retro strips that sell very well on Tufts. Yeah, they're hipsters are really into them. Yeah. It's like having a Preston North End 1870 T-shirt or whatever.
Yes, gorgeous, isn't it? So would you like to describe to the listeners what kind of player you were?
I was kind of like a hard-charging midfielder, very much in the vein of Ron Chopper Harris or one of those kind of 70s enforcers.
Right, so you wouldn't say on the pitch these days?
No, I'd be red card straight off.
And
probably clatter into... I used to clatter into the referee, just let him know early doors what he was barred.
Not to book me.
Because I can go off the pitch, but you'll be coming off with me. That's Yeah,
I've got your kids. So, and it being behind the cold curtain, I believe they used to call it. Were you on a lot of methamphetamines?
I mean, if you've seen the training montages in Rocky IV, they're not completely inaccurate.
Right.
There were a few.
Okay.
I mean, these breasts aren't just because of my poor diet, Chris. It
was all the female chimp hormones that you have.
Took steroids like a wrestler.
Okay, and so after the fall of the Berlin Wall, you moved to the west. You moved to Slough, I believe, on the outskirts of London. Do you want to kind of fill us in what you've been up to then? I'm writing a one pager for the Guardian, so I just need a bit more background, really.
Yeah. So I did. I was player manager for FC Slough for a bit.
Nice.
In the Continental League or whatever
the bricklayers they call them, don't they?
The Ginster Slice.
All right,
Barryway League or whatever.
So the 10th tier of English football.
Yes, the bottom tier.
Yeah. It's lower than Sunday League.
Yeah, you don't even have access to the FA Cup.
Mm.
You've got to get promoted to the 9th tier to get onto that.
Yeah, you could just play in the FA Trophy.
Technically lower than amateurs.
Really? Technically lower than not playing at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So you
had something to build on.
Yeah. Well, I thought unfortunately we didn't have like a Wrexham situation where somebody came in and kind of like you tried to spirit us up with a bit of cash and or celebrity.
Razzmatazz.
I mean, I wonder if that's why they brought me in to try and sort of like bring a bit of glamour to Slough, but
yeah, because your hormone-induced breasts are pretty glamorous.
Well, I do favour a tight top. I'll say
you
that.
Just strut up and down the touchline.
Make the most of what you got
with a low cut halter.
What God or steroids have given you. And but yeah, we've been dodgy now. I wasn't doing much, and of course, that style of play was frowned on.
Yes, very violent.
By the 80s and 90s. So
okay.
yeah. So
what are you up to now?
Just middling door-to-door sales, really.
Oh, that's okay. What kind of stuff? What kind of kit?
Sort of curry cards, people on gym offers.
Okay.
Sex toys.
Door to door.
Yeah.
That's
you just try and engage.
Slough for you, isn't it?
You just try and get pampas grass growing in the garden. You know what you're pulling out of the back of the car.
Yeah, very nice. Clean sheets.
I mean, what's a good day when you sell all three at once, Chris? That's
So
athletic, curry loving,
sex maniac. That sounds.
And why not?
Why not? Man? Not hurting anyone.
Trifecta
unless they are.
Can get behind. Well, don't ask questions, Chris.
Best not to.
I will say the handcuffs are robust.
That's
they may be fur lines, but they are extremely.
That's the role of the local constabulary, not the door-to-door salesman. Know your business.
Yeah,
exactly.
Handcuffs don't restrain people. People do, Chris. That's what I say.
That's very good. Thanks very much for filling us in.
Yeah, my pleasure. Nice to have a bit of interest after all these years.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those hit things, isn't it?
It's going to be a hit piece, yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Assassinate my reputation.
You'll be deported.
Is that because of all that stuff I said on Twitter?
It's
Is that because of that manifesto I published on Instagram?
It's not related to that.
So you're a small-time Irish crook then, apparently, Chris.
Yes, slash journalist.
Glad you're not doing the accent, because that'll be a hate crime.
I can do the accent if you like.
No, you can't. No, let's just...
my accent's fine.
I know we're both
of Irish descent.
Anglo-Irish, but I don't think we're allowed to get away with the accent. But,
well, that's the one accent that I can't do. the one which I grew up with.
So we doing any decent crimes recently?
Just small stuff. Stuff, stuff,
It's a bit of side hustling.
Yeah, back of a lorry, that kind of stuff.
Selling drugs and guns to kids, yeah?
No, using guns to steal drugs from kids.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then sell them to other kids.
Well, if anything,
at gunpoint.
Well, part of that's actually quite altruistic, isn't it? Because, they shouldn't be doing those drugs, so you stealing it from them, that's good. I mean, selling it back to other kids, that's maybe not so good.
Yeah, I mean, that's... But
they'd probably do it anyway, wouldn't they? So if you're not selling it, someone else would.
Yeah, but that's... You can always twist it to be altruistic if you're Aiden O'Betton.
Free market, isn't it?
You take people's wallet and go, if that'll do... Oh, all that money. Oh, no, I better take that because you'll hurt your back carrying that on your way.
Spend it on something you shouldn't have done.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to...
I'll invest this for you.
Yeah, exactly. You're just going to spend it on propping up the capitalist system.
Yeah.
Whereas I, Aiden O'Betton, am an anarchist. So I'm going to spend it on balaclavas and bricks to throw at shops rather than, say, use the money to provide community healthcare.
In any particular cause that you're throwing those bricks through those windows?
I mean, what you got
for
really.
The crack.
Yeah, just for the crack.
Figurative and literal.
Yep, figurative, literal. Extinction Rebellion. Let's just say that. Ukraine, doing it for that.
Because they're not pro-Russia enough for your tastes.
And not pro-Russia enough, no. No, exactly.
I mean, they've gone out there, they've had a perfectly democratic referendum.
Yeah.
And they want to become part of Russia, the motherland. And then they're blowing up bridges. I mean...
Yeah, I know.
Absolute...
Bridges that were just bringing them in some nice, fresh petrol.
Yeah.
A nice little gesture, and they go and blow the bridge up. Like they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. Just some nice, fresh petrol. Just going to go out with some tanks and just even the ground out a little bit, nice and smooth. Get rid of all the potholes. Get rid of all those horrible Soviet buildings by blowing them up, so you can put up some nice Rococo stuff.
Well, I mean, you know, population
people,
growth's gotten out of hand, Chris. They're just trying to, you know.
I just think that a lot of the people in Russia are NIMBYs and they don't like progress. I think that's what it's about, really. And so, yeah, I threw a brick through a newsagent's window and stole 400 packs of fags to support Russia, support the annexation of the Donbass.
Well, that's a compelling political statement.
Thanks very much. So, Neil, I'm going to call you Neil. I hope you don't mind.
No, that's fine. It'd be less confusing all around, I think.
So we're getting, even though we failed at the first hurdle, we're going to keep it light for the rest of the series because we have been, unfortunately, dragged into talking about, because our country's a mess at the moment, and it's quite frustrating. But we're just going to keep it. We're going to keep it on topic. We're going to keep it.
Hopefully, by the time we release a load of these episodes, it'll all be either much, much better or much, much worse.
Underwater.
So, yeah. Whatever. You can't keep thinking about it. Yeah, let's. So
we're going to keep it on topic, on legend, on monster.
I mean,
on brand.
We'll try. Okay, so
what are we talking about, honey bun?
We're talking about the legend of the Bunnyman.
Oh, so I was quite lucky that I said honey bun.
Yeah.
Nice. It's all coming together. It's good, isn't it? It's lovely when those things happen.
Serendipity for you in action there, listeners. Okay, so we're going to... I'm just trying to look actually what this... I think it's called The Connection. So connectionnewspapers.com.
Is that some kind of book where you wish really hard that something will happen, then it happens? I know I'm thinking of The Secret.
Yes. Yeah, no, we talked about that previously, didn't we?
I don't think we have, thankfully.
We've got a full one, but we mentioned it because I think it's one of Noel Edmonds' more curious beliefs. This is the one where, you know, if you wish hard enough or you envisage something hard enough, it'll come true in your life.
It does.
Yeah. Not. I don't know that they're affiliated. I don't know that they're not.
Right.
So you've immediately thrown us off course, Chris.
So it could be
a lengthy intro about staying on track.
Noel Edmonds could be like the leader of the Moonies, who they own the Washington Post or something, don't they?
Is that so?
Yeah. Unbelievably, yeah. They bought one of the big Washington newspapers to just put pro Mooney stuff in it.
I would hope. I have to go and have a look at that. Now, I don't know. Well, they had the banner. They've got like a red thing up, and it says "The Connection to Your Community." But I think it's
red. Sounds a bit commie to me.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well,
mind you, the Sun's got a red tag.
Everyone, guard up, everyone.
It's not exactly left wing. So who knows? I think it's the
maybe it's just red for the blood of the community.
Let's not. That's just where it is. So,
all right.
Title: Legend lives on at Bunnyman Bridge. It's not inherently ridiculous, Chris.
It's not at all, no.
It's terrifying.
It's spoopy.
And yeah.
It's spook. My bae thinks it's spoopy.
You'll be shitting your pants by the time I get to the third paragraph.
Yeah, but unrelated.
That's just because of the horrific diarrhea that you've got. Yeah. Okay. On Halloween night.
Just because I eat chicken out the bin.
Yeah. Just because you bought chicken from gentlemen prowling around the pavement selling that to you.
Just because I stole some chicken from a newsagent with the fags.
For Iceland and then for a few weeks.
Well.
Yeah. Well, who wouldn't, you know?
Hey, tough times, man.
Protein.
Tough times.
Might have some tapeworms in it, but
hopefully.
Tapeworms got to live as well.
Exactly. I'm becoming a biosphere.
Surely that's just
I'm becoming a one-man biosphere.
Yeah. You're like that dome down in Cornwall.
Yes, I call my guts the Eden Project.
Yes. Right, on Halloween night,
scariest night.
It is. Well, it's where you know the walls are finished between reality and so the Feast of Samhain.
Neil, it's when the veil slips.
Yes, the veil slips and the undead can come through. We'll get into that more on our Halloween ep.
Yeah,
watch out for that, listeners.
Soon, isn't it?
Very soon, yeah. As of when this, well, actually, I'm not sure when this is going to go out. It might go out after.
Have you got your second?
So always a bit of a roulette.
Have you got
your spin of the wheel with these thing comments?
Have you got your Sexy outfit ready for Halloween?
No, we're getting to that in the Halloween app, though, Chris.
Right.
As we speak, I don't know when this is going to go out.
Sexy Harley Quinn?
2 or 3. I'm not telling you. I'm not told you.
All right, it's a surprise,
I'm not telling you what my Halloween outfit's
it's a surprise for me.
Surprise, yeah.
Ooh.
Find out on the Halloween app.
Okay.
So on Halloween night,
I'm salivating thinking of.
Yeah, I know, you're like Pavlov's dog. Every time I mention just Halloween now, I didn't have to talk about my Halloween costume. Just metric fucking liters.
All the probes in my head start lighting up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A Halloween night, Bunny Bridge.
Right. Halloween night, revellers sought out a local legend with as many twists as curvy Fairfax Station Road itself. Only passage to a railway underpass loosely named Bunnyman Bridge.
Bunnyman Bridge.
So a Fairfax County Police barricade blocked the Colchester Road segment off of Fairfax Station Road on Friday, October 31st, in an attempt to protect area residents from Halloween revellers seeking a paranormal experience at the Bunnyman Bridge. Technically, revellers are allowed to walk down to the bridge. The police wouldn't allow anyone to park cars on the roadside anywhere in the area. So this is another one of those situations where, you know...
And unfortunately, the brave boys in blue's hands are tied by technicality. Yeah. They're legally allowed to walk along the roads, but they can't, you know, there's nothing they can do about it. They're just trying to protect.
Otherwise, there'd be a hail of bullets coming in your direction. Sadly, those punk lawyers
suddenly
tied their hands.
Southern Poverty Law Centre.
Yeah. God knows what kind of jaywalking and things are going on.
God.
Oh, you
get a SWAT team.
The loony left allowing anarchists to do what they like. The Woodbridge resident, Matt McAdams, arrived with a car full of revellers that wanted to see the bridge. I mean, that's a slow night, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to come see a bridge?
Because Halloween's Halloween's not really that big of a thing in the UK. I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't even really do trick-or-treating. I think there was a few kids who did. But, yeah, it's not, you know, but I think I get the impression it's pretty huge.
It's big in America, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a big party night.
Driven by Hallmark, probably. All those Halloween cards.
Any excuse for a booze and dressing up, it's fair days. Bit of fun, isn't it?
Not really.
You're not into that, Chris?
Not when the veils slip. That's when you want the kids indoors.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Well, yeah, because it's kind of like, I suppose it's a mixture. It's like a kid's... I mean, it has become much bigger now for sort of trick-or-treating, for like kids' holidays and stuff. But, they go out and do the trick-or-treating thing. It wasn't a thing when I was growing up.
They did it around the estate where I was living. People would trick-or-treat. I mean, it could just... I don't know. Like, I think on estates and stuff, people do it, but I guess I think it's local to whatever area.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did trick-or-treating when I was a kid. I'm not sure I went trick-or-treating because, to be honest, you didn't really want to knock on a lot of those people's doors.
Yeah. It would have been a lot more trick than treat.
Just let the dog on you.
Yeah. What do we get up to? Yeah. Yeah, so... Anyway, it's a car full of revellers wanted to see the bridge. So he'd heard about the bridge on a television special highlighting 10 of the scariest places in Fairfax.
Ooh. How are they?
Mayor's basement was number one. You don't want to know what's happened down there.
Oh, dear.
I don't know anything about the mayor of Fairfax.
He's got a rat boy.
He could have. Well, like the South End.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, this is what happens, people in high places. So.
Their personalities are genetically passed into the physical manifestation of their children.
Yep. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
So the show had said that 21 people had been killed near the bridge, according to McAdams.
Yeah, let's go there.
Two girls in the car were disappointed. This brings us on. I mean, we've said this before, we'll say it again. What is the best that you're hoping to happen? I mean, it's not like the Pope Lick Bridge where people were literally dying to try and hang around this area. I mean, literally, it was just like a bridge where people were getting mowed down by trains. Very stupid. So this is just it's a bridge on a road, though. I mean, I can't imagine it's a very busy area. You sort of look it up, right. It looks... Yeah, you'd probably be fine.
Well, the thing is, it's that.
But, you're either going to see nothing or you're going to see a serial killer.
People like scaring themselves. So, you know, that kind of thing where they would have been going to each other and getting themselves all scared and going, oh, what's that? You know, it's kind of like a bit of fun. I don't think they...
Hey, let's go and see the Bunnyman Bridge. 21 people got killed there.
Then we can get to third base.
What's the matter, Chuck? You got this Bunnyman bridge.
Hey, Chip, come on.
So, we learned everything we know about America from, what's it
Saved by
called?
the Bell.
Saved by the Bell, yeah. Any of the above.
Locker.
Yeah. A Serbian film. No, I don't know. I've never even seen that. They were...
Jizzy Bang Bang.
Yeah.
That's how they all learn about Britain.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an extremely accurate profile written by the Bond author, wasn't it? Was it Fleming?
Yeah, Ian Fleming. Yeah, it was. It's very much like the book, the Chrysanthemum and the Swords, which was written to explain Japanese culture to people going to America to help rebuild it after the Second World War. The book which they wrote about Britain was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
yeah.
to explain British culture.
It didn't, let's face it, it's completely impenetrable even to people who live here.
Yeah.
We don't even know why we do what we do.
No, it's just fumbling around in the dark, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, 2,000 years of history, Chris. Can't argue with that.
There's a lot to get your head around. There's a lot to get your head around.
It doesn't intrinsically.
2,000 years of history, and during that time, constant immigration into the country, so many different cultures. Yeah. So it's a complicated puzzle.
It's like, an old man living in a house.
I think Chitty Chitty Bang Bang does the best job of any of explaining British culture.
It does. I'll tell you, you should have mixed the two up, because I don't think James Bond would have had any time for that child catcher. That would have come to a swift conclusion, that part.
I don't know. I think that they're probably
wolf of PPK to the back of the head.
I think they're probably slightly kindred spirits, if I'm honest.
Well, yeah.
If I'm,
21 people killed near the bridge. Girls in the car are disappointed. They're all hung from the bridge, McAdam said of the bodies. I wanted to see the Bunnyman, he said before driving away.
I wanted to see the Bunnyman.
He wasn't too bothered about seeing corpses, which is probably a good thing.
I wanted to see the Bunnyman,
dude. So, one version of the story dates back to 1904, pre-war, according to historian archivist Brian Connolly of the Virginia Room in the Fairfax County Library, City of Fairfax. For more than 10 years, he researched the Bunnyman and sorted out the lore. Now, here is somebody who doesn't have a lot of... who's got a lot of time on their hands to... Is he getting paid to do that, Jimmy?
I think he was probably independent. He was probably an inheritance guy.
Yeah. He's,
like Phoebe Waller-Bridges.
Yeah, you're getting a decade of research into Bunnyman lore. That's a good
I know, but you don't. But it doesn't have to be a full-time job.
No, that's true.
You could go and have a look like once a month or like whatever and go, I've been looking at it for 10 years. So it doesn't have to be a full-time.
This is true. So, one story involves a prison bus that broke down in the woods of Fairfax Station. Convicts escaped the wreckage, fleeing into the night. Most were caught, except two.
John Bunny and Philip Mann.
Yeah. No, that's Marcus A. Woolster and Douglas J. Griffin, who remained at large. A search through the woods turned up half-eaten, dismembered rabbits that finally led to Woolster's body by the Fairfax Station Bridge. From then on, Griffin was known as the Bunnyman.
He'd been eating rabbits to survive.
Yeah. So it's another escaped asylum inmate's story.
Yeah, that's well-trodden path.
Yes. I imagine... what's his face has probably made a few.
But to be fair, the asylums in those days would have been filled with people who we wouldn't necessarily consider neurodivergent these days.
If you're not a 0 on the Kinsey scale or one of the wherever it starts, then yes, you're one of those. Or
if you were gay or
exactly,
or if you were brown, you probably that means you're insane. If you're a woman who wanted to vote.
Yeah, that's obviously some form of hysteria, isn't it?
Yeah, got the vapours. I do declare.
Yeah. So, So other versions of the lore include children hanging from the bridge, a hobo dressed like a bunny, Someone dressed in clothes made from rabbit pelts and a man that lived near the bridge who didn't like children, killing them and hanging them from the bridge.
I mean,
It's an extreme reaction.
Yeah, I mean,
but, gets the job done.
He didn't like children, to put it mildly.
You could say he was averse to them, yeah.
He wasn't children's biggest fan. So there's lots of different legends here. So there's either mental patient ran out. So only one of them was caught.
They caught. So there was a bus that crashed, and a load of
two went.
People escaped, but two of them,
Jeeves and Worcester,
went up.
And John Griffin's.
Yeah, Douglas Griffin and Marcus J. Worcester. They escaped and remained at large, and then he killed him. Let's say he ate him.
Oh, what? One killed the other.
One killed the other.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, well,
and then hung his body on the bridge.
These still.
No,
or the criminally insane, or just insane.
I think it was probably the Joker.
I think it's probably.
Have you seen that Batman movie where he shoots all of his colleagues in that bank robbery at the start?
Is it Jack Nicholson one?
No, what's the one? That's it, Heath Ledger one.
I think I've seen it, but I have no memories of it.
That opening was quite good, actually. I think it was in the trailer or something. Basically, they do a bank robbery of a mafia bank, and he kills all of his co-conspirators. Yeah, it's quite well filmed. I don't think it's a one shot, but I think it's anyway.
It's no Old Boy.
Yeah, very little is, Chris, as we know. It's a new film out by Park Chan-wook.
Is it?
Apparently, yeah,
that'll be harrowing.
Yes, yeah. Well, it looks a bit like the 39 Steps because it's got a guy handcuffed to a lady and they're sort of walking in a field or something. I've just seen a sort of photo of it, but yeah, it'll be an emotionally bruising ride. I don't know. Some of his films, Lady Vengeance was quite nice at the end.
What when?
Because she did not choose the path of vengeance for this.
Parents did though.
I don't know. I can't remember.
They kill the nonce teacher. They all take tools and all have a go at stabbing and killing him.
It's been a while since I've seen it. Anyway, she has a happy
ending.
ending.
Apart from that, it's a pretty cheerful film. 8 out of 10, PG.
You got to learn what
be advised.
Yeah.
Some scenes, some viewers some younger viewers may find disturbing.
Oh yeah. So, I know we've gone. Oh yeah. We've gone through all the different versions of the law. So now there's a few people explaining how they've heard about the urban legend.
So at the moment we've got
we've got escaped mental patients or an escaped mental patient
wearing rabbit pelts.
Bloke wearing rabbit pelts. Someone who likes to kill children,
or they're just being children dead there somehow.
Yeah, or just kids like being hung under the bridge.
Yeah,
all usually bunny related. And a spate of bunnies being killed near the bridge.
Yeah, that's a real tragedy.
Is that?
Yeah. Can't take him from it.
I mean, hanging children from the bridge, that's one thing, but killing rabbits, that's...
The thing is, rabbits can't talk back. So...
Rabbits don't hang around petrol stations smoking cigarettes and saying annoying things, do they? Not I've seen. I mean, now you come to think of it, though. Don't go down that route. So Lee High School junior Megan Thornton heard about the Bunnyman Bridge from her driving instructor during a behind-the-wheel lesson. Ugh. That's what I call a driving lesson. Presumably means they work on theory as well. I don't know. Just showing me age there, but I don't think we ever had driving lessons that you weren't behind the wheel. But anyway, the version involved a crazy man that broke out of a mental institution, dressed like a bunny, and killed children. I mean,
how much am I paying an hour for this driving lesson?
Yeah. First, let me talk to you. Let me teach you about the history of cars. We start out with a horse and carriage.
Yeah. Close your eyes. Imagine.
How is this helping?
Mesopotamia, 8,000 years ago. The wheel is invented.
Cover the history of highways.
You're not going to pass your lessons unless you understand advanced Newtonian physics.
Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past.
Now, I'm going to go through in detail every car crash that there's ever been. Oh, we're out of time for today. $25, thanks. I'm off down the boozer. See you tomorrow.
Oh, driving instructor's just a grift, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You don't need to learn to drive the car. You just get in and we kind of naturally know how to do it anyway.
Just common sense, Chris. All of this red tape, get rid of it. Just let anyone above the age. If your feet can reach down to the pedals, you're old enough.
Yeah. Or if you're clever enough to do a workaround, then you're probably fine. So
exactly. Yeah. You're just demonstrating your moxie there.
And that demonstrates to me.
There should be no speed limits either.
Why would you have speed limits?
Yeah. If you didn't want to get run over, why did you get in front of the car?
Speed limits are communist. It's just so everyone, so people don't feel bad about people having better cars.
Just because your car can't go at 200 miles an hour, you think you shouldn't be able to go to a playground at that speed? Restrict my freedom.
Unbelievable. Government overreach.
Yes, I do kill an alarming amount of people on a daily basis.
But if they'd been in car,
the small price to pay for my freedom.
But what I would say is, if they'd been in cars that were stronger than mine, then I would have died.
It's almost like they wanted to die. Crying out for death. If you think about it.
Oh, what? So I was willing to comply to their wishes. Oh, right,
yeah.
Wow. You can't do right for doing wrong these days.
That's how the General Motors lobbyist pitched Trump during his second term. Oi, oi, oi.
You're saying oi, oi, oi a lot today. Have you been? Have you been watching Fiddler on the Roof again?
Yeah. You don't watch it every morning, Chris. I don't know where that comes from. I've never seen Fiddler on the Roof. I can picture a gentleman dancing out on the roof with that song, but I don't know if I've actually seen that or I'm just making that up in my head. Like one of them AI that does art. But the version from my warped brain. Right, where do we get? Do you remember at the start of this? We just absolutely set ourselves to fail. Right, we're gonna stay on track.
No, I said we weren't going to talk about politics, and we mainly haven't.
I don't know what we have talked about.
Right, there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of important stuff.
A lot of really important ground, necessary
backgrounds.
Prelude to the rest of the episode.
Absolutely.
If you hadn't, taken in all of this, you really.
It's very much like the version of on computer games where, like, say, Witcher, where you get books and you can read into lore and stuff. That's kind of what we sort of.
It's just adding really rich colour to the story,
unnecessary boringness.
You can just tear through it and just complete the objectives, but then you're losing all that great narrative thread.
I mean, the best thing about the books is that you can sell them.
Yeah.
Like real books.
Do you not want to know about what the Elven Prince got up to?
Not really.
1,000 years ago. My favourite's when they do like the audio logs on System Shock 2 or something, or Bioshock. So you get a bit of like Amdram.
Or like those terrible ones on our 2-player thing on Division.
He's broken into them.
Oh no.
Thing.
On Division 2, those echo things.
Oh God, yeah, those are. I don't. Well, yeah, Division 2s are strange. It's just a lot of weird padding. Yes. You're not really going in for the lore, are you?
Well,
just a bit of shooting.
Yeah.
Just tell me who to shoot.
Yeah.
Preferably everyone.
Yeah, boys.
And I'll crack up. Oh yeah.
Oh, here he goes again. Oh, sure. What are you doing? Hey.
Probably it's not going to get in my head, and I'm going to do it more rather than less. Right.
Yeah.
So she's got a version about the crazy man that broke. So yeah, if you remember about half an hour back, high school junior Megan Thornton was doing some driving instructions on that thing, and then that was when she heard about a Bunnyman bridge. The version involved a crazy man breaking up a mental institution dressed like a bunny that killed children. She remembered that particular driving lesson as being spooky. So for this driving lesson, we're going to talk about urban legends and spooky things that have happened.
Due to $50 due to the story and the instructor's wandering hands.
Oh no. I've been there, she said. It was right when the sun was setting. The version Leaf student Courtney Tidwell heard involved children from a broken down school bus around Halloween. They found the bodies turned inside out,
Ooh.
she said. I think what's happened there is she's watched The Predator and confused that with news events that didn't happen.
Possible, isn't it?
And that's what I'm thinking there. So West Springfield Jr., Ashley Stern, had another version. She knew some people that went to the bridge at midnight. Some guy escaped from jail. He eats bunnies to survive. Fair enough. She said, Ashley's story involves children's bodies hanging from that bridge as well. I heard he hung them up by the intestine, she said.
Would the intestine be strong enough to hold up a body?
They would. The problem you're going to get is they're very, very long, I would have thought, so you'd have to be quite careful. Yeah. You'd be like bungee jumping.
Maybe that's what I do. Not a lot to do around here. Bungee jump using our intestines.
Well, adds a frisson of extra danger to the proceedings, doesn't it?
I reckon.
If you try and get ripped out of your abdomen, then the chances of infection are fairly high. I would imagine a scenario like that.
A stagnant river.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can we cut out all the bits where I don't?
I'm going to do an oi mega mix.
What am I doing? I don't know. 50th episode or something. All of a sudden,
to a turn of the century, a Decian.
Next week, he's going to suddenly do like fucking full on Yiddish and stuff. Right.
Stopping himself.
Start speaking in a Brooklyn accent. Right. Where were we? Yeah, intestines by the bridge. So fellow student Angela Tan heard about a girl that went exploring by the bridge. I heard this girl went there around Easter. She got freaked out when she saw a bunny. Well, it's Easter.
That's when bunnies walk the earth. That's when the bunny veil slips.
Yeah, exactly. Feast of Easter. The legend even made its way into the West Springfield High School yearbook one year. Brian Simcox, class of 99, heard about it originally when he was in 8th grade. There's a big page in our yearbook, Simcox said. I think it's a croc.
Simcox?
Come across our first...
That's a good...
yeah, Simcox. Simcox.
Sounds like a saucy add-on for the Sims computer game.
Yes, or a Sims add-on where you get to control a rainbow. One or the other or both.
Or because it's EA and therefore you get really small amounts of stuff for loads of money, it's an add-on where you get an extra one type of apple. $4.99.
Well, if you just joined the EA value program at £5 a month, then you got that for free.
Well, no, you wouldn't have. You would have got it at a discount.
No, you would have got it at
5% discount.
3% discount. So I was thinking about getting like FIFA 23, and then oh my god, it's really overpriced. And it was like, it's really annoying because if you buy the EA thing, you do get a discount that's big enough to justify it, but I really don't want to. So I'm just going to wait for it to come down in price, I think. I kind of want to get it before the World Cup, but
why?
I don't know. so I can do pretend football.
All right, play the matches.
Yeah.
If the World Cup had been played by me, it would have been a very different outcome.
Yeah. Qatar would have gone a lot further in the competition, rightfully so. Invested a lot of sweat, blood, and tears, especially
not their own
workers' blood. Right.
Not their own tears.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they imported the tears, obviously, and the sweat.
Apparently, the air conditioning in the stadiums works really well, though. So that's excellent for the environment.
Screaming at children related to the workers. It really cools you down.
Just all the ghosts.
Yeah.
That was the real plan. All the ghosts. So killing each stadium kills enough workers that there's always a ghost passing through you wherever you are, so it keeps you cool.
Bring you down a good 20 degrees, which is good in the scorching heat of the midday. Yeah, and there's someone else, Vanessa Ledger of the area by the bridge, used to go there all the time but Halloween, so she didn't turn up there at Halloween apparently.
Every that was my one day off.
I think there were less houses back then. It made for a creepier scene. In the story that Annandale High School junior Katie Stanton heard involved a crazy guy too. His story involved children that taunted him to the point that he killed them. Well, that's a bit much, isn't it?
Mm.
He was mentally unstable. He would wear the bunny suit. Children would make fun of him. That's all.
Like the parents.
She went there and said it was creepy in the dark.
Most places are.
So the legend's gone on like that through the years. And in 1992, Connolly, who can take us back to this, is a chap who was doing the research by Connolly, Virginia. Decade. I mean, he's probably been at it about 30 years now, because this would have been back in 2002.
Unless he was taken by the Bunnyman.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Well, we don't know, do we?
Well, no, because what you do is you'd go and look at his research, and then a bit like those logs in games, it'd be like, I have now been researching the Bunnyman. Oh no, there's been a look at the door. Yeah. He's coming for me. ...
Well, you just see like the pen trail off the page. a bit of blood in the bottom corner.
Really, I'm going to keep this around. I'm going to document every second I can.
Oh, I can't believe it. His eyes are red, and I feel hypnotized. Well, basically, then at that point, you're just writing it like a fucking Lovecraft book.
Yeah.
And I saw the most disgusting, horrific sight. Though they had been there since prime immemorial. They were walking around and I could tell they were reading my mind, and they were large triangular shaped, and it was walking around. And then I lost my grip on reality, and I wish you farewell, Claire. That's kind of Lovecraft, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, with Lovecraft, the horror for him was anyone that wasn't white, white Anglican, upper class. Yeah.
He very imaginative and invented that whole genre. His actual writing's pretty shonky.
It was kind of like the atmosphere is incredibly dense.
Boring.
But I've not read that much of his stuff, to be honest with you.
It's all free, isn't it?
He was a deeply unpleasant man.
He was.
Right. So they start getting a lot of questions about it, so he wanted to put it to bed once and for all, Connolly said. He summed it up in an 11-page document. 10 years, Chris. 10 years. 11 pages.
But I bet.
I take my hat off to Mr. Connolly. This is sweet. Mind you, as you say...
Maybe it was just like full of spelling errors.
Yeah. he's knocked out the day before. I've been doing this for 15 years.
I can't even remember. I can't remember.
That paper you've been doing. It's like, no hurry. Send it through tomorrow. Just what? No, you're not finished. Just send it through the draft. Fucking fuck. Just a quick PowerPoint demonstration. Just knocking that up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Pinging it over at 9. Yeah.
That'll do.
Oh, fuck it, that'll do. Not even pulling an all-nighter. It's like,
don't take this the wrong way, but this doesn't seem like 10 years. What?
You've really summarised it.
Most of this stuff kind of we already knew.
So you've just given me a load of reports from local children and just
and three of the pages were just like Google image maps of the area.
A picture of the bridge. I think this is cut and paste from a Wikipedia article on bridges.
And on one page, you actually explain how to play the game Hangman, the word game.
3 pages that are just pictures of bunnies.
Not sure how that ties in. No, it's a work in progress.
Look, I said draft, I meant draft.
Right. I don't really like showing my workings.
Okay, then. Here's your next 10 years of thunder. We'll be back in 23.
But, I'm expecting a lot more.
20 pages of day.
Right, I'm off down to Boozer. Right, that's my bursary in.
You got tenure now.
Looks like he did it again.
I did actually watch The Sting the other day for some bizarre reason.
Watch what?
That's good fun. You ever seen this bit of The Sting? It's Redford and
The Sting,
what's his face? Yeah.
The heist.
Sure. Yeah.
In the bookies.
It's a good bit of fun. Yeah, exactly. Right, sums it up in an 11-page document. The Bunnyman Unmasked, the real-life origins of an urban legend. Connolly used old news accounts and police investigative reports of murders in padding it.
Copy and paste.
But nothing remotely related to a bunny until his first solid lead in a collection of stories called the Maryland Folklore Archive. Oh, and it turns out there'd be some truth to this story, Chris.
There'll be truth to this story.
Oh, little nugget of truth here. Ain't that nice? So, around Halloween...
I can't believe it.
Right. Open thy ears. What truth will be injected into them?
My ears are open for the truth nuggets.
So around Halloween 1970, Fairfax County Police were searching for a man in a white bunny suit who found people on his property and threw a hatchet through their car window in an attempt to scare them off.
Fuck off.
Yeah, that'll work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No one was injured. A few weeks later, the man in the bunny suit re-emerged a few weeks later off Guinea Road on the porch of a new unoccupied house, according to Connie's account. There really was some guy doing strange things in a bunny suit.
Wow.
So I'm actually going to go through to, there's a paper of the time called, I think it was The Monitor. This is a clipping from...
named after the lizard.
From the Ames Daily Tribute. Bunnyman protects territorial imperative.
Territorial imperative.
Bunnyman first appeared 2 weeks ago when he smashed the window of a car and told the astonished couple inside they were trespassing. Now the 5'8" man in rabbit's clothing...
Trespassing, boy!
My property! Now the
Hatch it back.
Yeah. And he's stealing my axe. Right,
Go get, you boy!
Now the 5'8" man in rabbit's clothing has struck again. A guard in a housing project under construction told police he came upon a figure in a white bunny suit with floppy ears, chopping away with a hatchet at a porch post of an unfinished house. When the guard approached, the bunny man said, "You're trespassing. If you come any closer, I'll chop off your head." The strange figure then turned and hippity-hopped off into nearby woods. Police
did he hippity hop?
I think that's a little bit of embellishment from our brave reporter there.
Hate it.
Police say they have no clues on his identity. So far, all they know is they're searching for a 20-year-old 5'8" rabbit with a hatchet.
20?
20-year-old, who's roughly around 20, they think.
Really? That's young, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's he got his own property at that age?
Wow. Was it his own property?
Or was it all a dream?
Yes. Well, we don't know, do we?
No. It sounds like he's having an interesting break with reality.
Yes.
Or he's just having a bit of fun.
He's having a bit of fun. He might have done some PCP. We just all of the above. We don't know.
Yeah.
Controlled by aliens.
Could just be
stumbled onto a ley line.
Maybe it was an alien.
Yeah. He's an alien coming from a parallel universe.
Dressed as a bunny.
Just doing a bit of PCP for Halloween like anyone would.
In a parallel universe, Earth was actually ruled by anthropomorphized bunnies.
Yeah, a bit like Planet of the Apes, but even more ridiculous. And decided to defend some property when he was over there.
Yeah, with a space hatchet.
You wake up the next morning and go, oh,
what have I done?
Oh, I did I?
Oh, I've thrown that bunny suit away.
So yeah, there was genuinely. So there really was,
and it was the end of it.
Actually,
was he never found?
He was never captured. So, but there was a spate of other sightings afterwards. So, So let's have a look. So yeah, he attacked the couple in the car with an axe, and then they sort of got away. So this was a US Air Force Academy cadet called Robert Bennett and his fiancée visiting some relatives, selling for a football game, and then he attacked them. Said, "You're on private property and I have your tag number," after throwing the axe through their passenger window.
Good throw.
Yeah, he's done all right, isn't he?
See, this is the thing. People think it's all fun and games, people doing those axe throwing things where they have a beer and throw axes, but, axes, you shouldn't be training people to throw axes whilst having a beer.
No.
Shouldn't be doing it, Neil. They shouldn't be doing it at all.
It's not axes that break windows, Chris. It's
weak
people
windows.
in bunny suits who get annoyed about trespassing on what may or may not be their property, depending on which dimension they've come in from. It's kind of incredibly convoluted. the police requested a description of the man. So funny enough, he thought he was wearing a white suit with long bunny ears. But his fiancée contested that their assailant didn't have bunny ears on his head, but was wearing
lovely long hair.
Apparently a white capirote, which is kind of like that Ku Klux Klan hood thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Although it's also used apparently in various other religious ceremonies.
People in the Vatican.
No, yeah, apparently it's a Catholic pointed hat of conical form.
It is.
But you look at the picture and that screams KKK to me.
Yeah. Well, that's where they got it from.
I'm sure, yeah.
Well, no, where they got it from was A Brave New World or whatever. No, what's the film called? Nation.
Birth of a Nation.
Well, no, they got it from there, but the reason why they were dressed like that, the KKK in that, was just a choice by the whoever the studio prop person was.
Oh, really?
Said Catholic people wearing it.
Yeah, that was beforehand, didn't because they predate that obviously, but
they do. But no, they didn't used to wear stuff like that. Mm. All of their iconography comes from that fucking book/film.
Well, yeah, the fucking film. I mean, nobody read the book, to be fair, apart from D.W. Griffin. He thought, oh, great, let's make a black one, and that pretty much launched the whole modern. Because I think the historical one was kind of
Confederate,
like everything else from the Confederacy. Horrible, it lasted 4 years and fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just all the resurrection, all this cobblers. Anyway.
History not hate, Neil.
4 years. I've had longer holidays. Not true, but it should be.
Longer illnesses.
Had longer shits.
That is true.
Yeah,
I've been on a long holiday with you.
Look, it's this toilet / mobility scooter. Don't peep, Shane.
Hey, Neil, I'm not trying to yuck your yum.
That's the thing, because I enjoy it a little bit.
Well, a little bit.
I didn't have to siphon it back into my mouth.
The fact that when you finish, you go sprinting around the flat like a cat does after it's had a shit, running up all the furniture.
I didn't have to install the spray valve out the back of it to mark my territory.
Well,
but I did.
But you know, it was very good deal on the option.
Yeah, well, that's where they get you. Yeah, you know, for an extra.
The add-ons, the VAPs, the value-added products.
That salesman was awfully convincing I could make use of it.
Yeah, I mean, you bought it online, of course.
Right. So the several newspapers, including the Washington Post, reported on the Bunnyman. So there was the initial attack, then there was the reappearance of the security guard who got threatened to have his head chopped off. But then there was a multiplied report. So a student at the University of Maryland was also looking at this. She submitted a research paper that chronicled precisely 54 variations on the two incidents were reported in the newspapers. There's quite a few other sightings, but not don't seem to have been verified anywhere.
Well, it always seems to happen, doesn't it? That everyone sees it.
Yes, yeah, it's a bit like Mad Gasser of Matone. Yeah, suddenly there's a spate, but it didn't seem to have been much more coming after the 70s. So anyway, these legends got connected to that particular bridge going under the railway tracks on Colchester Road. The 1904 event with the missing kind of like people from the asylum was connected to Lawton Prison, but that hadn't actually been built at the time, and there was never an insane asylum in the area. Or so they say.
They would have been driving around for ages.
Yeah, just waiting for an asylum to be built. I mean, they probably went.
Come on, Governor!
Probably went crazy on the bus.
I got a lorry full of commies. Degenerates. Get that asylum built.
They should have got them to build their own asylum. That's kind of forward thinking. I don't know what's happening. I can't stop pointing it out.
Have you somehow rewired your brain incorrectly?
Probably.
By not doing this for a couple of weeks?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
You've gone wrong.
I'll do another one after this. This isn't gonna go well.
Yeah, it's good to start picking up verbal tics in your fucking mid-40s.
Yeah, we've got literal documented evidence of my Alzheimer's starting on the podcast.
That's good. So it can become a really sad podcast over time.
It'll slowly become more and more non-verbal.
Yeah, and they'll get picked up by the BBC.
That's worth it in the end.
Yeah, for me.
Anyway.
Not for you, obviously. Yeah. You didn't know what was going on. I got all the money sent to me.
Anyway, spooky spot, and then they try and stop people going down there now because the local neighbours find it a bit annoying. The local police officer, Jeff Gossett, he realises the attraction
Jeff
of the tail.
Gossett?
Yeah, Henry Gossett Jr. or whatever that.
Was it Gossett? Or
Gossett, Jeff Gossett.
Oh, I thought it was Jeff Gossip.
No, Gossett.
he's a terrible police officer.
Oh, he can't keep his mouth shut. This is an urban legend, he said.
You'll never guess what I saw the other day.
You'll never guess who murdered the neighbour.
You never guess who's knocking his wife about.
You'll never guess who's hung by the intestines from a bridge.
You never guess who's been gorging themselves on bunny rabbits again.
Well, that asylum hasn't been built yet, yeah. Well, escape. That's how they escaped, because it hasn't been built. So,
yeah. They just dropped a really casual bus driver. Yeah, there you go, open the door. Well, it says it's here on the map.
Well look, whether they build it or not, it's not my concern.
More than my job's worth.
Like it says, I've got to drop you over
I work for the bus company,
here
not
or
the
not.
asylum. I've got another picker. I've got to go and pick up.
Do I look like I build asylums? Do I? Well, let's back chat.
I've got a stag do to get down to Fairfax.
Do you know how many lunatics I've got to get from place to place today?
Really? Look, you lot, get out. Just sit here. It'll be built soon. Right. I've got to get back to the depot. It's my lunch hour.
Right, anyway. Gossett realises the attraction of the tale. This is an urban legend. It's Fairfax County's Blair Witch Project. As in, there's very little to pad out 90 minutes, but
we're somehow managing it.
But there you go. That's pretty much it, to be honest with you, Chris. I mean, we'll have a quick look, see. I don't believe it's been on Supernatural, I'm sorry to say. Look, in popular culture on Wiki. So there was a slasher film, Bunnyman, is an exploitation-style version of the story. Can you really exploit? So just having a look.
It's very exploitative of men in bunny costumes culture.
Because it used to be like you get.
It's very exploitative of furry culture.
Does this sort of stuff just end up online these days? You think, or does it go onto like Netflix? Because because there was a spate of like around the 90s and early aughts, you'd make like your crappy little movie, and then you'd get it onto DVD, and then you might make a few quid off of DVD sales.
Sell them at gun shows.
Yeah. Down the library, stuff like
that. Down the market.
Yeah. Free for a pound.
I've got DVDs and I've got punnets of strawberries.
Bunnyman, love Bunnyman, exploitation style film about
Bunnyman,
psychotic bunny dress fella.
Bunnyman, pound of punnet strawberries.
Because people must still be making them, but I'm just thinking, where do they distribute them these days?
3 punnets of strawberries and I'll throw a DVD in for free.
Your kids all like that, darling. Good for Halloween.
Yeah.
Nothing too scary. Don't worry, princess.
Don't worry. It's all done with ketchup these days.
You know me. I wouldn't put none of that awful nonsense in there. It was apparently there was an Amazon original series called Law, which sounds like off-brand Supernatural. Based on a podcast of the same name.
Yes, I've seen some of those.
Yeah, uses the Bunnyman legend to introduce a second episode of season 1. So there you
go. It's not as good as this.
Filling the Chris, I have no idea. Not American horror anthology television series. There you go. If we carry on for another 50 years, Chris, we might end up as an Amazon Prime show.
Well, from what I've seen on Amazon, when you delve into the depths of Amazon Prime, they'll pretty much put anything on. Like if you've made it, they'll stick it on.
Oh, if you've made it, that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
We need the equivalent of vanity publishing. I suppose we can just we could always try and do an episode and just vanity publish it online. We'll just do like a really badly animated, and I mean like literally with a flick book. just film that on a phone cam.
That'd be fine.
Stick that up on TikTok. What do you want? It's free. Don't like it? Fuck off. Not looking for opinions. Watch it or don't. It's been on the Chris Gethard Show on the episode Let's Get Scared. He dresses as the Bunnyman for the full episode.
Who knows?
A non-fiction author called Jenny Cutler Lopez published a full-length feature in Northern Virginia magazine entitled Long Live the Bunnyman. It's been on Family Guy. Adult Swim broadcast the story of the Bunnyman as a bump during an episode of Family Guy. Fair enough. Adult Swim, they crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, and just, there's a Bunnyman brewing in Fairfax. And there's another book.
And where is Fairfax? That's in
Virginia, I believe.
Virginia. Oh, the seat of the nation.
Have a look. Yeah. Fairfax.
Do you know what? Do you know what? We had a listener from Fairfax a couple of weeks back.
Did we really?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's not far outside Washington.
Well, we hope you're listening to this one, listener.
Yeah.
You're probably not, let's face it. You probably...
I hope your life's improved.
Dived in once. I'll never be seen again, I imagine, but if there's anyone from Fairfax listening, that's good. Yeah.
Right, well, shall we go through our scoring system, Neil?
Why not? Why not?
Why not, eh? It's what the people...
Who can stop us, Chris? Like, two
literally no one.
Bunnymen defacing or protecting a property.
I'm willing to call him out.
We've got the law on our side, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Stop me if you can, Bunnyman.
We've got moral force and the law, and all of God's heavenly.
All of the gods.
The whole pantheon. Yes.
All of them. So, Neil, spookiness. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's quite spooky. So it's a sort of bridge in a sort of area that's quite sort of quiet and sort of deserted, or it was originally. And you can imagine people. There used to be an underpass back when if you were going on to the Portslade Tesco's via the back path, you go through this thing, and it was, they didn't light it up properly at night, so it was always a bit.
That's why you used to hang around there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why I used to hang around there, try easy marks and try and make some money.
Yeah.
That was my side hustle back in those days.
Street dogging.
Yeah. Just a bit of anything. You sometimes get these out of the way places that.
Well, isn't it true that anything that is below ground level is technically like international waters?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do anything you want.
The law of the underground. I believe that was the song by the whatever. Girls Aloud. That's it. It was a brave choice to start off with a number one single about snuff films, isn't it? More power to them, I say.
Well, that's Simon Cowell moves at the times.
Yeah, whatever's popular, literally. He can make money out of it. He's got no problem with it.
He'd just come back from his hush-hush holiday to the Golden Triangle along the Mekong River, and suddenly, what was that? It's weird, wasn't it?
That's what they based their film 8mm on, wasn't it? They had to tone it down significantly. That was what they based the first series of True Detective on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Simon Cowell's holiday in Laos.
The Mekong River.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Look, until he comes...
Just asking questions.
Until he's willing to come out and set some of these questions straight, we
can't say. We don't know. Yeah.
Burden of proof's on him that he wasn't. Simon Cowell doesn't frequent the Mekong River at least 3 times a year to film snuff movies.
We don't,
which he claims inspire him to create pop songs.
What a wealth of culture it's funded, though. Hey, Chris.
He also gets his
almost worth it.
He also gets his cosmetic surgery done there as well by a chimp.
I mean, you think the kind of musical releases that he's been capable of, it's kind of very much the oral equivalent of a snuff film, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Anyway.
Very much so.
I forget we were speaking of so I don't want to go into Simon Cowell. So dimly lit pathway, those kind of areas can be really sort of, they get really spooky. I can see, so this one's kind of had a local legend tied into it. And they've obviously come up with all sorts of things. So, I think, people being hung by their intestines or, kids being hung from there. It's a bit kind of, Grand Hignon or whatever. But it's, I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but it's all a bit over the top. But, it's quite spooky. I'm going to give this a 7.
7, okay. I've not seen The Bridge. I Fairfax County looks fairly well populated, so I don't think it's countryside.
No, but this particular, I think like dark. Like you see this one bridge. I think it'd just be like just a road in between.
But it doesn't sound like a particularly spooky area to me, anyway. But well,
there's a local asylum that doesn't exist.
Well, the vanishing asylum.
The one thing more terrifying than the local asylum is the local asylum that doesn't exist, as we all know.
But yeah, I mean, so if someone in a bunny costume threw an axe at my car, I think I'd find that quite spooky.
Yeah.
If not a little annoying. So yeah, the targeting of children and the rabbits getting eaten. I don't like that. Like, imagine walking in the woods and seeing like loads of rabbits all killed up. So I'm going to give it a 6.
Cool.
So, believability. So there's nothing really supernatural here. It's always hobo or angry Roald Dahl who hates kids.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
He went to live in Fairfax, Virginia, didn't he, I believe?
He did for a few years. Yeah, early 70s.
He lived in East London in the late 19th century, didn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So that's when he wrote George's Marvellous Medicine.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
he lived in Germany in the late 30s.
Yeah, I believe he might have done. Yeah, he lived in Alabama in the 1830s.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Candy Town, that was good.
Yeah, so believability. So none of it's supernatural. I don't think kids have been hung up and stuff, particularly because I would have thought there'd be more.
Might have made the
newspapers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there was a bloke in a bunny outfit apparently reported who's actually done some weird shit. So believability, I'm going to give it a 8. No.
Yeah, probably fairly similar in that, we've definitely got some substantiated sightings of our Bunnyman. There's a couple of actual reports that ended up in the newspapers and all the rest of it. Obviously, that sort of spawned a much greater degree of other things. But as you say, there's nothing here that's sort of supernatural. So yeah, going to be a 7 from me.
7, okay. And narrative premise, Neil. Et toi?
Yeah, I think this one isn't too bad actually because there's not loads there, but there's a good grounding because like what's the guy's motivation? So you've got basically a serial killer who likes doing it dressed as a rabbit.
Furry.
Rabbits. I mean, you've got a bit of a Batman villain vibe going on here. I think you can, or you could go a bit more intellectual and turn it into something like I don't know his father.
Donnie Darko.
Yeah, exactly. You got your Donnie Darko sort of thing, or something like that. So yeah, you could take it in a number of different directions. You could go quite comic book, or you could go a bit more arty farty if you wanted to. So yeah,
manga, anime.
Yep.
Do that.
You could do theatre, kabuki theatre, like Japanese play. Yeah. You could do like the Ring Cycle by Wagner about any other art forms in the phone.
Pointerless.
Yeah. Shadow plays.
Shadow puppets.
Puppetry.
That thing where they use loads of drones to make a dragon in the sky. Yes. You could do that. The newest of art forms.
All podcast. The best of all of the arts.
The most arty.
Yeah. Oh, the most direct of the art forms. I've forgotten what I was talking about. I don't know.
It's got a good narrative premise.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think there's a fair old there's good foundations to build something on. I think. So, but not loads and loads of backgrounds. But as you can tell from all of the sort of like things that people have been making up, so I'm going to give it a 7 again. Hit
7. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of space around it, but there's lots of different narratives and premises which have kind of come up. I mean, none of them are particularly rich or deep, I wouldn't say. They're kind of pretty boilerplate. So it's probably a bit less for me. But, yeah, I don't know, really. Is it good? I mean, there's the whole cosplaying part of it, so that's nice. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 5. And
you can't give your character depth, everyone. Give him a kink.
That's exactly
shortcut to depth.
Well, that's what they always
dress
do.
Him up like a rabbit.
I've noticed
Spunky rabbit.
Even on really good sort of TV shows, like I hate it that they always add like, and they've got this one particular thing to try and add, like in Burn Notice, which I really like. They have to have the thing that he really likes yogurt. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
that was just a hilarious thing that grew organically, Chris, because they all love yogurt. And they're just like, what if we had yogurt in the fridge one day?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like that kind of stuff. Or like people who, when describing themselves, has like coffee lover. It's like,
my wife's a golf widow.
Guy clubbed her to death with a golf club.
No, literally, yeah. Right.
Right, reach. So it seems like it's got a fairly good reach. Well, definitely in the area, but it seems like it's known nationally in America. I don't know if it's internationally known particularly. But yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable. So I'm going to give it a 5 for that as well, because it's fairly new.
Yeah, I'll go slightly lower on reach because I think it's probably not that well known outside of this. I mean, as with all of these things, because of the internet, stuff gets spread around now.
Fucking internet.
But it's not really. I mean, there's no episode of Supernatural, which is a red flag for me on reach. It has inspired a few bits and pieces, and people link it to Donnie Darko, but there's no real reason to believe there's any relation. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay, and that gives us an overall score of, I think I've done this right, 49, which is actually pretty high.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Just seeing there's a rock opera about it as well, Chris. So there you go. I don't know why that's not put in the culture.
What? Why is that the last thing I'm hearing?
They dropped the lead there.
Oh, my God.
Well, I should go and explore that more, and I'll go
well, more of this in the next series.
Yeah. Series 4 is just going to be about the Bunnyman rock opera.
It's just going to be a rock. We're just going to perform rock opera. Cool. All right. Well, if you do enjoy dressing as an animal for your own pleasure, that's fine. Like, there's no need to chuck axes through people's windows. Just enjoy yourself. As long as everyone's consenting. Don't worry about it. And, I think that's the message I'm going to leave us with this week. We'll be back next week at 8 p.m. Thursday, Tokyo time. And apart from that, see you later. Bye.
Goodbye.